We're living through the biggest shift in human connection since the invention of the telephone. And if you're not paying attention to what's happening with online communities right now, you're going to miss the most important business trend of the next decade. Now, I want you to think about how online communities have shaped the way that you use the internet. The internet is pretty much a web of connection. It's a web of connecting people with other people all across the globe. Now, online communities have been around since online chat forums and pretty much any type of communication. But what has changed is essentially how this has impacted business. If you can get members of a community to become the content, you're not just now fueling an unstoppable snowball effect of members who are a cult of people who are die-hard raving fans who are now not only selling for you, but they're sharing your message. Now, if you don't know how to tap into this, I'm going to walk you through the step-by-step example of what I do and how I've helped clients generate communities into their appointment setting processes, into their businesses, and how it has helped create that snowball effect for them, me, and everyone around who wants to do better in life. I'm going to walk you through this here in a second. I want you to understand what businesses are actually using this. Notion, Peloton, software companies, any topic, any niche topic that you can think of, there are people that want to talk about that topic. All right. Now, you can generate clients, revenue, eyeballs, and whatever you want to do by tapping into a community. All right. No matter what you sell. So here's the psychology of belonging. Okay. Here's what most people miss about communities. It's not about the platform. It's about the psychology. Humans have 3 core psychological needs. 1 is autonomy. 2 is mastery. And 3 is belonging. Guess which one modern life fails to provide? When someone joins a community, they're not looking for more content. They're looking for their tribe. They want to feel seen. They want to feel heard. They want to feel understood. This is why a Facebook group, again, about sourdough bread, it can have 100,000 passionate members. It's not about the bread. It's about connecting with people who get excited about the same weird stuff that you do. I saw this firsthand when I started a small group of freelancers and business owners. I thought we'd share tips and tricks. Instead, it became a support system. It became therapy sessions. It became friends who know each other and are sending each other referrals. People shared about their fears, their wins, and even became real-life friends and met up in real life. So one member told me that this group, it saved my business. Not because of the advice, but because I finally felt that I wasn't alone. So the community economy. Let's talk about the numbers because this isn't just feel-good stuff. The community economy is exploding. Discord was valued at $115 billion. OnlyFans, lover or hater, generated $5 billion annually. Not from content, but from those community relationships. There's a lot. There's LinkedIn communities, and you'll start to see that there's school, Facebook groups, and you'll see that almost every social media online platform has some sort of community element. It's for a good reason, okay? So there's actually a yoga instructor in Austin built a 500-person WhatsApp community. She now makes more from her online programs than her physical studio. Gardening enthusiasts, again, sourdough bread, yoga, whatever you teach, you can niche it down and get a community. Now, this isn't just going to be feel good, excited, here's all the upside to it. I'll actually get into the nitty-gritty of how I help clients niche down their communities, develop the SEO around the communities, and actually insert the community element into their appointment setting process. All right, so I'm going to get into the exact steps. First things first, your community is essentially that kind of is a core heart of your business. Why is this? Well, because if the community dies, then it becomes a spam-filled kind of wasteland, and it actually isn't generating what you want it to generate. If you do it right, the community will actually grow on its own. So here's how this kind of works. When you generate a community, when you build a community and people actually like it, word spreads, and friends invite friends, all right? So the first thing is you have to set your community up right. The way that you want to set up your community is first things first, make sure your community engages and creates active communication. What does that look like? Well, whenever you make a post, can you ask somebody's opinion? When you ask somebody's opinion or you find some common point of agreement, then you can create discussion. And then if you create discussion, you create comment threads where people are talking to each other. They're becoming friends and they're actively communicating with each other. The more you limit communication, such as having policies around you can't sell anything, you can't talk to anybody, it's going to dry everything out. So the faster that communication happens, the more agreement happens, man, that community will snowball. Now, the way that you want a community to be presented is beginning, this is the second thing, is beginning your community as here's the value you're going to get from the community. So you're going to sell a product, all right? You're selling some sort of outcome that they want, all right? Again, selling a community for the aspect of a community, that's the secondary thing that people realize they wanted all along. The first thing that they wanted was an outcome. So let's say you help women over 40 with weight loss. Well, the thing that you're selling in that community is weight loss, and everyone there is supporting each other to lose weight. Now, if you're just saying, hey, here's your community, come join a community because we all want to hang out, that's the secondary thing. It's not what engages them in the beginning. All communities need a common goal. So if the goal is to lose weight, if the goal is to grow a business, if the goal is to create a community, if the goal is to get better at video, that is the key here, all right? You have to have some sort of product or outcome. And if you have multiple products and outcomes, that's going to dilute it. It's going to be very hard to grow that community. But if you have one kind of key outcome and everyone's coming together to help each other get to that outcome, you're in good shape. Now, the third thing here is you got to make sure that you have a very niche outcome, because as internet grows, these broad groups, these broad communities are a little bit tougher to generate and a little bit tougher to grow. So actually identifying two key niches where you niche down who it's for and you want to niche down what that outcome is. So for example, if you're trying to grow a community about growing a business, everyone wants to grow a business. But if you want to grow a business through affiliate marketing, then that would be a very key community. Be how to create an affiliate marketing product for your business for a specific type of business owner. That's going to grow really well because your SEO will take off, it'll niche down, and then usually when people are in a certain niche, it's very easy to find other people in that type of community because it's more niche down, okay? And, especially if something's niche, you're not just friends with everybody. You have a very carved down type of community. So when you are attracting members into that community, those members have mutual friends. So for example, in a Facebook community, let's say it's for pickleball, usually their friends list is full of other pickleball players. And then they're going to invite their friends in, and man, that thing will skyrocket. Now, if you have a coaching program or a course on the back end of this community, you have now created a community that grows itself, but also brings people into your program on autopilot, which is where you're using members and you're utilizing word of mouth and the impact of networking and community to actually grow a business. That's awesome. All right. Now, how do you grow the community before it has that kind of momentum that comes from a lot of members? So the first thing you do, now this is kind of the daily tactical, this is what you would give to an appointment setting team. Basically, I have my appointment setters and my VAs. Well, what we do is we take our profiles on Facebook, this is my Facebook process, and we send out invites every single day. So we add people from other communities, kind of like stocking a pond with fish. I'm going to go to other places that have fish, and I'm going to take those fish and I'm going to put them into my pond. And then those fish are going to hang out, and they're going to bring in their friends. And so we do this every single day as just a daily KPI would be at Facebook invites to your community. Another daily KPI would be communicating with people in other communities. And this, over time, will grow your community. So this is how I grew my community, 3,500 members with business owners and coaches, and how I've generated well over $300,000 from that community on the side. All right, so that really helps. So you want to have a habit of pulling people into that community. Over time, though, the SEO will take off and people will start to join on their own. The next thing here is you want to have a good questionnaire, okay? And you want to make sure that you're adding in the right people to the community, because if you do this wrong, you'll attract spammers and you'll attract people who want to basically poach your community and make sales. So you have to make sure that, one, you're asking if they are in your niche, all right? Number two, you need to make sure that they are financially qualified or they have some sort of degree of progress in what they're trying to do. So if it's a community for established online business owners, you should ask them what their revenue numbers are. If they're at 0, then you shouldn't allow them into that community until they're ready. Okay, so that is why communities are so important, why you need to be doing this. And I would highly encourage you to get a niche community, start sending those invites, and then build that into your appointment setting process. So now when that community is growing, your appointment setters are now a community manager. This brings me to my last point. This is the secret sauce. So listen closely. Your appointment setters aren't appointment setters. They are social savants. They are promoters, like at a club. They are socially savvy. They're likable and they're exciting. Now, take this into a community setting. They should be like a dinner host. They're not sitting here. They shouldn't be like a shark burning your leads. They should be handling them. They should be giving them good resources. They should be trying to book calls with them in order to get them the help that they need. An appointment setter is a community manager. So when you get your community manager into your community, the way that you want to handle it is they're there to welcome the members. Hey, welcome to the group. Cool if I ask you a couple questions, see how I might be able to help. That will go a lot better versus outbounding somebody and having nothing to give them of value. So if your community managers can do that job really well and that community can grow on its own, you now have somebody who's going around your party asking good questions, making sure that everyone is super happy in that party, and then bringing them into that back room, which is where you're going to give them that upsell, which is where your sales calls happen. So if you can do that right and you can do that accordingly, you're in good shape. Now, if you want help doing this and you want all the systems and the SOPs and you want the scripts and the whole game plan, as well as the accountability, which is the key here, there is a link below. You can book a call with me personally and I will help you out. So I'll see you on the next video. Peace out.